But that lady, that new press secretary, she's
that video, dude.
She's a gangster. And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that fucking Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video.
Watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The new press secretary demonstrated strong command and composure during her recent briefing. She handled difficult questions from the press with ease and managed to redirect the conversation with confidence. Her preparedness and clarity made it evident that she was in full control of the dialogue, commanding respect in the room.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Karoline Leavitt has officially responded with legal action, filing an $800 million defamation lawsuit against The View. Known for her outspoken stance on free speech, this move underscores her commitment to defending her reputation and pushing back against what she views as a misrepresentation in the national media.
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Regardless of differing opinions about her politics, Leavitt has proven she is not one to retreat from confrontation. She's openly challenging a television program that, in her view, prioritizes sensationalism over substantive discourse. Rather than accept criticism tied to her political affiliations, she's opted to pursue accountability through legal channels.
That lady, that new press secretary, she's a gangster.
That video, dude.
She's a gangster. Have you seen that video?
You've never seen someone more prepared for a question in your life, Jamie.
Have you seen that?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Small point on that. Not the big point, but small point. She was so prepared for
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she's supposed to be prepared.
That's why I
Jamie.
said you've never seen someone
You know
more
why?
prepared.
For that.
They're
for that
prepared.
specific.
Joe Rogan, a prominent media figure known for his unfiltered commentary, weighed in from his podcast platform. Often credited with providing a space for open dialogue, Rogan viewed this as another example of legacy media attempting to suppress voices that diverge from its preferred narrative.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about.
While The View's hosts employed emotionally charged language, Rogan maintained a more measured perspective. Speaking plainly, he framed Leavitt's lawsuit not as a reactionary move, but as a deliberate response, a method of ensuring that public figures face consequences for making potentially harmful claims.
So Joy Behar went after Joe Rogan on The View, and he fired back spectacularly.
You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons!
The incident that sparked the legal dispute came from a segment on The View in which hosts Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, and others discussed Karoline Leavitt's political record. The tone of the discussion leaned less toward balanced analysis and more toward personal criticism, with Behar labeling Leavitt dangerous for maintaining firm political stances.
And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that fucking Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video.
Leavitt, however, refused to remain passive. Her legal actions signaled a turning point, as noted by Rogan, who recognized the implications of challenging influential media figures. His commentary highlighted what he perceived as a preference for opinion-driven rhetoric over evidence-based discussion on the show.
Even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they will tell you the approach has been much different. Not just for me, but the entire White House. Oh, absolutely. They come in my office every day and they'll admit that off the record. Oh. Maybe not on the record, but they will say they appreciate the access and the transparency and the preparation that goes into my briefings. And everybody on our team, by the way, who goes out to the camera.
As Leavitt's legal team began preparing their case, Rogan appeared to interpret the unfolding situation as an illustration of media dysfunction. He commended her for choosing a structured, lawful approach over reactive outrage, viewing it as a meaningful step toward accountability in public discourse.
Very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny's very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
It's sort of. I think the other ones. There's a couple of the other ones. Don't have to name any names. Are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart.
Despite his critique of the program, Rogan acknowledged Sunny Hostin's intelligence, though he suggested her political perspective might cloud her objectivity. He refrained from naming other hosts directly but made it clear he found their approach lacking in depth and professionalism.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one. Yeah.
But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
We're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The View has made its stance clear when it comes to dissenting opinions. Disagreement is often treated as adversarial. The show's format tends to lean into emotionally charged exchanges rather than balanced debate. In contrast, Rogan promotes discussions that include a range of viewpoints, which is why he supported Leavitt's response as principled rather than provocative.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
This lawsuit is not solely about damages. It's a broader statement about accountability in media. Leavitt opted for a formal legal path instead of engaging in public feuds online. Rogan, having observed similar patterns of media critique for years, noted that this time the challenge was direct and impossible to dismiss.
Their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
And that's their audience.
Yes. Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows. I don't know if you've ever seen audiences before for TV shows, but a lot of them are paid. They're paid to be there. So, because they have to guarantee that there's going to be people there. So there's services that you hire. And when the show gets really, really popular, like Letterman or something like that, obviously it has its own fan base.
In many ways, The View often straddles the line between entertainment and commentary. Leavitt anticipated the environment and chose to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Regardless of the legal outcome, she succeeded in reframing the conversation. Rogan recognized that cultural shift. The lawsuit sparked deeper questions about media responsibility, and Leavitt took initiative. Meanwhile, as the show continues in its usual format, a growing number of viewers are starting to reevaluate its tone and intent.
So if she places this order, they say, we can't promise you that we can do this because our boiler is down. So we can't fulfill this order. And so then the next day, the boiler is back up. She has someone else call the same bakery, and they get the order in because now the boiler's up. She claims the reason why they didn't take her order is because they didn't like her politics. And so she says this on The View. So then the bakery has a press conference where they say, we've been in business for 150 years. This is not what happened at all. We don't discriminate against anybody regardless of anything. We just had a problem with our boiler. And she's singling it out a family-run business. And then there's a line around the block for the bakery.